In 1831, Alexis de Tocqueville wrote that in America, the principle of the sovereignty of the people is not just an idea, but a fact that governs the entire society. 200 years later, a congressman from Kentucky just proved that principle still holds, even when the internet tells you otherwise. Thomas Massie has officially lost his re-election bid. Ed Gallrein beat him by nearly 10 percentage points, 19 out of 21 counties, a total blowout. And the reason is simple. Massie alienated his own base by chasing clicks. The Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Fuentes crowd that has made conspiracy theories and Israel their calling card. Those audiences don't vote in Kentucky's 4th District, but Massie played to them anyways. First, he went all in on the Epstein files and ended up turning on Trump to do it. That alienated every Trump supporter in his district. Then he went completely anti-Israel, playing footsie with the openly anti-Semitic crowd online. That alienated every Republican who isn't all in on Trump but still votes red. 2 moves, 2 alienations, same mistake. Choosing the algorithm over the ballot box. The first way Massie alienated his base was the Epstein files. As a congressman, Massie got unredacted access to all the files. He then promised to read the names on the Epstein list on the House floor if the files weren't released. When not enough files were released, Massie and his Democrat ally Ro Khanna did exactly that. They read the names on the House floor. There was one problem. Those names he listed were random people included in a police lineup, not suspects, not people who had been to the island, just random people the police used in a lineup. After that, it should have been a sign to all of us that maybe what we were seeing from the Epstein files was all that was there. No master list, no little black book. If Massie's bombshell moment ended with him naming random citizens with no connection to any crime, then maybe there wasn't anything more being hidden. But the online crowd didn't see it that way. They pushed Massie harder. He's a truth teller, they said. He upholds the Constitution. He goes after the elites. Their love for Massie grew, even as the evidence showed that his bombshell had no fuse. And here's the part that mattered to the voters in that district. Going all in on the Epstein files meant going after the Trump administration for not releasing them, which, if you're a Trump supporter in Kentucky, and most of them are, means that your own congressman was essentially accusing Trump of protecting the worst people in the country. That doesn't play in a district that voted for Trump by double digits. It plays online. It doesn't play at home. The Epstein Files chapter was the first alienation. Massie turned on Trump to chase the online crowd. But it was a second move, going full hog into the anti-Israel camp, that cost him everyone else. Over the past year, Massie turned completely against our strongest military ally. And if we're being honest, that is the real reason the online crowd loves Massie, because he doesn't take any money from AIPAC. And it should be noted that AIPAC is not a foreign lobby. It's an American PAC that believes Israel should be supported as our ally. But that didn't stop Massie from saying that AIPAC should have to file under FARA, the statute that requires foreign PACs to register as foreign agents. He became a darling of the podcasters who platform open anti-Semites and who only talk about Israel. And the mainstream Republicans in his district, the ones who maybe aren't Trump loyalists but still vote Republican, they noticed, and they voted accordingly. And if you had any doubt about where Massie's head was at, look at his concession speech. He didn't open by thanking the people of Kentucky's 4th District. He didn't acknowledge the voters who had sent him to Congress 6 times. He opened with a joke.
I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Gallrein in Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv. That was his opener. Not gratitude, not humility, a nod to the anti-Israel crowd. The very crowd that just cost him his seat. Even in defeat, Massie was still playing to the algorithm, still chasing clicks. The voters of Kentucky had just told him it doesn't work, and his response was to prove them right. So Massie alienated both halves of his base, the Trump Republicans and the more Trump-skeptical Republicans, by chasing the sovereignty of the algorithm rather than de Tocqueville's sovereignty of the people. But there's a second thesis here, and it's the one every politician should take note of before they decide to cross Donald Trump. Trump still dominates Republican elections. I titled this video, Trump is Still King. Let me tell you what I mean by that, and what I don't. Trump went all in against Massie, posting openly about his hatred for the man, even during yesterday's voting. And quick aside here, this was another way that Massie just shot himself in the foot. His team was still playing up the endorsement that Massie got from Trump in 2022. Just yesterday, they sent out a text to voters with a screenshot of Trump's endorsement of Massie, with the date cropped out of the image. To any voter who knew the situation, this was just totally dishonest. And even if Massie didn't sign off on it, it was a terrible look for him. Before Trump turned on him, Massie's primaries used to be formalities. He'd been serving that district since 2012. He either ran unopposed or won at least 75% of the vote in every Republican primary that he faced until he crossed Trump. Now he'll be without a job come next January. And he's not alone. Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana just became the first incumbent U.S. senator from either party to lose a primary election since 2012. His sin? Voting for Trump's impeachment in 2021. He's been on Trump's bad list ever since, and now he's out too. Two different men, two different states, two different motives, same result. You cross Trump, you lose. That's not a coincidence. Now, I don't mean the Republicans just do whatever Trump tells them. They don't. In 2022, Trump endorsed Charles Herbster for governor of my state of Nebraska. Jim Pillen won. But here's the thing. Pillen hadn't crossed Trump. Trump just preferred Herbster. No feud, no attack, no grudge. Republican voters looked at two candidates, neither of whom had earned Trump's true enmity, and made their own call. The voters are not robots here. But look at the races where someone did cross Trump. Massie picked a fight. Cassidy voted to convict. Trump didn't just prefer someone else, he actively opposed them. And both of them lost badly. That's the distinction. And I think it's the most important one in Republican politics right now. Trump's endorsement is the strongest hand you can hold going into a primary, but it's not a guarantee. Because if neither candidate has crossed him, voters will sometimes make their own read. What is close to a guarantee is this. If you've crossed Trump, his opposition is near lethal. Voters don't save you, they agree with him. That's what I mean by king. Not that Trump wins every hand, that the game is his. His sword is sharper than a scepter. He can destroy you, he can't always anoint you. And that distinction matters, because it tells you what 2028 is going to look like. I think the biggest lesson moving forward is that whoever Trump backs walks into 2028 race with the strongest coalition in the field. Whoever crosses him is fighting from a hole most candidates don't climb out of. That doesn't mean the endorsed candidate is guaranteed to win, but it does mean that the race runs through Trump. And right now, that looks like it'll be either Rubio or Vance. I'd give the slight edge to Vance getting Trump's endorsement, but we'll see. The only conclusion right now is this. The road to the Republican nomination goes through Mar-a-Lago. It has since 2016, and it still does. Tocqueville was right. The people still rule. But sometimes the people don't need a representative, they need a voice. And when they find one they trust, they don't obey, they agree. Trump doesn't order anyone to vote a certain way. He tells them who betrayed them, and they believe him. That's not a king in the old world sense. That's a king by consent. The people can overrule him whenever they want. They just choose not to. The internet is not real life, but Donald Trump is. Subscribe and like the video for more from me. I'm trying to build a brand based on honest, reasonable takes and not the performative outrage you get from so many online these days. If that resonates with you, subscribe and head to my Substack to get new releases emailed directly to you. With that, I'll see you next time. Thank you.